Okay, so today we're going to walk through some of the scripted half-court sets from the Lakers and Luke Walton that are a staple of their offense when they aren't running high pick and rolls with LeBron. First is a common ATO play of theirs out of horns that they call horns chest swing. Pretty much most teams in the league run some sort of horns chest action to get a shooter a look off the initial flare, but the way the Lakers run it is just misdirection to get the ball back to LeBron or Ingram for a spread pick and roll. I'll let it play through one time to give you guys an idea. A shooter will fake the ball screen for LeBron, like Kuzma does here, then slips coming off the flare, but Zubac doesn't really set the flare for Kuzma here, as you can see. And you see the Wizards run this for Beal a lot to get him a shot, but the Lakers don't really look to get Kuzma a shot off the initial flare. Instead, it's just to get into a backside dribble handoff. What the Lakers are really looking for is that throw ahead back to LeBron, right into the high pick and roll where he's attacking on the move against a big that's still getting into proper defensive positioning. So you see Pau Gasol is still moving to get into a proper defensive stance to defend the pick and roll. And because of how quickly LeBron comes off the pick, it puts a ton of pressure on the defense. And LaMarcus Aldridge, the low man here, who has ultimate help at the rim, has to rotate to the paint as the low man to tag Zubac. And it leaves Kuzma wide open in the corner for the three. So you see the same thing here where the Lakers run it for Ingram as the ball handler in pick and roll. The Thunder blitz him, which means the weak side help, Nader and Schroeder, has to pull in to protect the paint when McGee rolls. And it leaves the shooters on the weak side open, Hart and KCP. So Nader has the first tag, and he trades off McGee to Schroeder to take the first pass out to Hart. And Schroeder, who has ultimate help responsibility as the roll man, has to stay and tag McGee. So Ingram skips to Hart, who then sacrifices a good shot for a great shot, making the extra pass to KCP in the corner for the three. So here you see Mo Wagner popping for the three instead of rolling. The 1-4 high, or UCLA offense, which the Lakers just call LA, is a staple of their offense, and there's different layers and options that they get out of it. A lot of times they'll catch the defense sleeping and score off the initial UCLA cut for a layup. So we'll just go through a reel of Kuzma scoring off the initial cut. The second look off the set is a duck in for LeBron. Starts off with the UCLA cut, which means a pass to the wing, and a cut off the back screen from Lance. The screener then pops out for the pass with the cutter coming off the weak side stagger. So you see Kuzma, who's about to come off the stagger from LeBron, and Williams here. A lot of times you can tell when that duck in is coming is by how the Lakers will position a point guard, either Rondo, Lonzo, or Lance here at the elbow, setting the initial back screen. It's so that that player can make the lob pass over the top to LeBron. The weak side stagger is pretty much a decoy to occupy the weak side help, preventing them from helping when LeBron ducks in. So you see DeAndre Ayton here is hugging Williams, and he's pretty much looking to help this defender here who's locking and trailing Kuzma to help on the curl, and there's no help when LeBron ducks in. Again, you see the weak side stagger from LeBron Williams, but Jokic is playing high rather than dropping back to help because of the curl from Hart, and there's no one to help when LeBron ducks in. Here they run a logo pick and roll with LeBron. Last one is LeBron and a shooter setting the pick and roll with the weak side stagger. So you see a shooter setting the side pick and roll for LeBron and the weak side stagger for Kuzma. So the Hornets have Parker hedging LeBron, not wanting him to switch onto LeBron. But MKG doesn't really recover back to LeBron, and instead he's kind of in no man's land, which leaves KCP open for the three. Double is just a simple stagger screen to get a shooter open. Pretty basic action. Kuzma comes off the stagger. So here you see Hart isn't open on the initial cut. So the first screener will come off the wide pin, KCP here. Comes off the second screen from Tyson Chandler for a shot. This time you see McGee rolling to the basket for a potential empty corner pick and roll. This one is straight out of D'Antoni's playbook that the Rockets ran last year for Capella out of timeouts. This is just a counter to when the defense top locks the cutter, and the cutter just goes back door. So right now you see DeMar overplaying KCP, not allowing him to come off the stagger from Kuzma and McGee. So KCP just goes back door instead of coming off the stagger. First screener comes off the pin down from McGee. And the initial cutter, KCP, sets a rip screen to get McGee open for the lob. So here you see Josh Richardson not allowing KCP to come off the second screen. Instead, they switch. And what makes this play work so effectively is that the bigs have a tendency to play high, as you see Whiteside does here, to help on the initial cutter or second cutter, and they can't get through the screen to prevent the lob. No call on this play, but I'm calling this swing because it seems to be a common term anytime there's a backside DHO into the thoroughhead. So it starts off with the reversal pass into the backside DHO and throw ahead back to the lead ball handler. This is pretty much just wedge action, but the wedge screen is set on the weak side. So you see KCP here goes to set the wedge screen for Kuzma on the weak side instead, so that the screener can go into side pick and roll. Here the Rockets break down defensively, not really communicating on the switch, so Kuzma slips for the layup.